What if you don't have money to bring to the table?
Yeah. And so that is something that can happen, right? Where you're so far underwater on your loan or on the property that you have to bring money to pay it off. A lot of the headlines have been around the people that have been unable to sell. They're taking homes off the market as opposed to like fire selling.
Yeah, there is fire selling.
Not really. Not unless they really have a major.
Even some people that should.
I know.
Like some of the folks that we talk to on the lending side, some of the flippers where they're like trying to get into rental properties, or I'll just, instead of taking a quick loss on or a small loss, I'm going to turn this into a rental property and make a big loss over a long period of time. It's like, it's a bad deal, dude.
But you can say you have you're a rental property owner now.
Well, now you can just throw in a bunch of paper equity on your balance sheet too. You're like, overinflate that.
You're so right. And I don't know why, like if this is a thing of like denial that people do, or they don't understand how to look at like the big picture. Because we have case after case of this right now of people that are, good flippers. Like they flip a lot of houses. They know what they're doing. And then they get like the one they can't sell. And they go, well, I'm going to make it a rental, but I'm still going to try to sell it like next year, like the year after. So what they end up doing is they refinance into a DSCR loan that's at like a 9% interest because they want no prepayment penalty. They don't want to bring anything to close. They like want it basically as lean as possible. Their credit sucks because they've been living off of maxed out Lowe's credit cards on all their rehabs for the last little while. Right. So they get a loan that's like not that much cheaper than their hard money, and they're going to try to sell it again anyway. Like, just if you have the lower offer, just take it. Sure, you're going to lose 20 grand right now, but you're going to lose 35 when you sell it in April.
Yeah, because you usually don't have any cash flow to cover any of your expenses either. And you're going to pay you're going to pay more property taxes, more insurance.
And not only that, you're paying all this money to get into the DSCR loan, right? To do the refinance. That costs money, but people seem to ignore that because it comes out of like the quote unquote equity that they have. Right? It just gets wrapped into the loan. It's like, oh, it doesn't cost me anything. Actually, it does. It costs you a lot. So.
Yeah, a good case study of this personally was I refied a piece of property and I was going to then sell it on a land contract to somebody else. That land contract guy lasted one payment. And I wished I would have sold it. But now I'm kind of like, well, fuck, like I don't really want to sell it now because I just did exactly what Mike described.
Yeah. I think the sunk cost bias is a really big issue that people tend to have in real estate because stuff does take a while. But realistically though, if I look back at the losses, Dan and I haven't had too many losses, just a couple. But if I look at them, we knew that they were going to happen way before they finally did. Mm-hmm. Right. And you'd always try to like find a way to get out of it or to change the destiny that you had already set up for yourself. You just got to admit it.
Anytime shit gets weird, you're going to lose money.
For sure. Well, I will say what is like the worst sort of situation to be in and what really, really just like hurts is when you're like mid rehab and you have a property that's like not sellable and you already know you're going to lose and you have to keep paying for more shit. That really sucks.
Yeah, it's like, when do you draw the line? Do you actually try to finish a rehab until you can save, or do you just cut your losses and say, I know what I'm actually going to lose at this point is?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that's a hard thing to do because like if you go to the streets and you're bleeding, people are going to know that and they're going to really get taken to the cleaners.
Well, the longer that you own a property, the more times the shit can go wrong. It's just like, especially now with the winter, we had a property where the bottom half is vacant because it's still going through rehab, but it didn't have any heat to it.
Nice.
So now, it could get like the pipe, they didn't luckily, but the pipes could freeze, some that could cause other problems. So now it's just another mental thing too, that you have to keep track of, like, oh, I need to make sure this isn't happening. And it's just, it can get, the more that you do it one time, unless you have the pieces in place, it takes up a lot of mental headspace and get convoluted pretty quick.
Yeah. And I think that if you are somebody that is an active acquirer of properties, you're actively flipping properties, you're buying like several houses a month. If you have like the dud, just eat it, just get your money back, move on to the next one, and it sucks. It'll hurt your pride. You'll have a good story you can tell people later. Just focus on that piece instead.
What if you don't have money to bring to the table?
That's a great question. Yeah. And so that is something that can happen, right? Where you're so far underwater on your loan or on the property that you have to bring money to pay it off. Like, what do you do? So this is one of the big reasons I'm super against like interest reserves as a lender, but also as a borrower too. Like, yeah, it's nice to not have to make a monthly payment, but also you can get into a situation where you are now underwater on the deal. You have no equity because the interest has just been added onto your loan principal over and over and over again for a period of time. And then you get to the closing table, you finally sold it, you're going to lose, and you have to bring 25 grand to closing. Your options are now either to pay all the payments that you pushed off when you're in probably a worse situation than you were before, or B, destroy your hard money lending relationship and tell them, hey, sorry guys, you're fucked, and give you the house back. If it's a like individual, I guess you upset that person, that's whatever. If it's an institution, they're going to foreclose. They can put that shit on your credit. You're not going to get a loan ever again. Like, well, at least for the next 7 years, you're completely screwed, right?